Welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. Today I want to talk to you about some suggestions on following up, when to do it, and how to do it. So if that's of interest, stick around. So wouldn't it be great if everyone you reached out to, everyone that you shared your product, service, or opportunity with, had a conversation with you the very first time you talked, went through all the details, and made a decision whether they were going to join you, buy, or not do either the very first time you talked to them? Wouldn't that be great? Our process, our follow-up would be non-existent, and we would just collect yeses and no's all day long. But that rarely, if ever, happens. I might be talking to some people who made a decision to get into their opportunity or your product or your service immediately on the first call, but you're rare. That doesn't happen very often. So when we reach out to someone, whether it's text or Facebook or a phone call, we're generally interrupting them. And when we want to share what we've got on our mind, even if it's in their best interest, and that's why we're contacting them, which of course it is, we're interrupting them. And so they're generally speaking going to want to either process the information or want more, simply as the inquisitive nature of the person happens before they make a decision. And especially with our financial opportunities in our companies, some people think that that's a much bigger decision, even though it's $100, $500, $1,000 to get started. It's hobby type money, but it's full-time type income potential, right? So they think that they really have to rehash this thing about making life changes. In any case, when you have to follow up with somebody, you have to do it at the right time, and there's a certain way that you can do it to make it more effective for you. Follow-up is definitely critical and crucial for your long-term success. It's not something that can not be done regularly and have a thriving business. So just reaching out to people is definitely crucial to make those initial outgoing calls. You have to be in front of new people. You have to be contacting, generating, or reaching out to new people who have never heard about your product, service, or opportunity regularly. And you have to continue to follow up with the people with whom you're in some stage of that conversation, who haven't said, yes, I'm in, or no, I'm out forever. Everyone in the middle, which is 99% of the people you're going to talk to, are in that follow-up system. So being organized, I'm not going to talk about being organized on this phone call, but it'll make it easier for you and it'll save you time. Track who you need to call when and how to get a hold of them instead of having to dig through pieces of paper. I used to have a desk that had just old receipts or ripped off pieces of paper with a name and a number on it, no notes or anything. It was a nightmare. When that mountain piles up, you have to digitize it somehow. So get yourself organized and create a system that can go out 6 to 12 months, because that's when you're going to be following up with people. Calls I made yesterday, someone said call me in 6 months, which is what I'd regularly do anyways. Okay, so when to do this? The best way to answer this question is you should follow up with someone when they tell you to. And I know for some of you who have a long list of people who you have contacted at some point and they're out in limbo, you don't know when to contact them next. They're draining the mental energy from your head when you look at them on your list. The best time to call that person is right now. But going forward, develop this skill of following up, and you won't have to have that mental energy drain from your soul every time you look at your list and wonder, has it been too long? Now am I gonna bother them? It's Tuesday night at 7:30. They're probably busy. I shouldn't call. Like, I know the conversations that's happening in your head. And so in order to get rid of that, while you're talking to the person, while you're actually connected with them, it's a cheesy little line, but I'm going to use it anyways. Set up the follow-up before you hang up. You're going to literally ask them, when should I call you back? And when should we talk next? Would you like me to give you 2 days? Would you like me to give you 2 weeks? I don't suggest that you tell them. Just ask them, hey, I know that you're busy right now, so I've enjoyed this conversation. When's the next time we should talk? Because I'd like to get some more of your questions answered. Go ahead and think about it. Talk to your wife, talk to your spouse, whatever it is. Take the weekend to mull it over. When should I call you next? They'll tell you. Some people will say, call me in 2 hours. Call me in 10 minutes. Some people will say, call me in 3 months. Some people will say, I don't know. Here's how to respond to the I don't know. Suggest something and suggest a range. I use a really big range. I'll say, do you want me to give you 2 days or 2 months? And because it's such a huge range, people will go, I don't need that long. Call me next week. Then you can set an appointment. I highly recommend you actually set a day and a time for you to follow up with them. Instead of leaving it nebulous and say, great, I'll call you Thursday afternoon. Say, do you have your calendar? I know you're busy. Let's pencil in Thursday at 3:30. I'll call you then. There will be some people that say, don't worry, I'll get back in touch with you. To let you know, that's a polite way of saying don't call me, or I ain't going to get back in touch with you, right? They're just putting you off. And it's not because they don't like you. It's because they don't want to make a decision. They don't want to think about this right now. So if there's any way you can, back that back up and say, don't worry about it. I know how busy you are. I'll just call you. How's Friday at 3? I highly recommend you suggest one day and one time, not 2 days and 2 times. I know there's a ton of methods out there. I recommend one day, one time that works for you because it's your business. You have your calendar laid out in front of you. And you don't have to go rearranging your schedule to catch that one perfect person, that this one follow-up call is going to make the difference between them joining and not. It's not. Let yourself off the hook. Work your business and fill your pipeline so full of people that when you're working effectively. The right people will join your business. The right people will buy your stuff. Okay? So when to follow up, the best time is when they tell you to. So set up the follow-up before you hang up. And how to do this is just do what you said. So when to follow up is when they tell you, and how to follow up is literally just do what you said you were going to do. If you said you were going to send them information, do it immediately. If you said that you were going to call them back Thursday at 4 o'clock, call them back Thursday at 4 o'clock. If you said that you were going to send them a text or you were going to drop something in the mail, just do what you said you were going to do, and that's it. The rest of it, leave it to itself. The rest of it is the process. Just do what you said you were going to do and let it go. Now, are people going to always be at the phone ready to take your phone call Thursday at 4 o'clock, even though you set the appointment? No. So you can either choose to leave a voicemail or not. I usually send a text because I think voicemail is an extra 45 seconds that I don't want to lose out of my life. So I send a text and say, hey, call in for our 4 o'clock follow-up appointment. Hope everything's okay. Looking forward to catching up with you soon. And leave it at that. You don't have to call them back 5 minutes later. You don't have to call them back an hour later. If they're the right person, and listen to this, in network marketing, whether you're new or experienced, if they're the right person, won't they call you back? If they're the person that you want on your team, and they happen to be busy, or they forgot, or they lost their calendar, or their phone fell in a pool, whatever it happens to be, or they're really trying to blow you off, won't the right person either pick up the phone or call you back? And when they call you back, even if it's 4 days later, won't the right person apologize for missing the appointment? Like, think about these things. You don't have to chase people. And you can work with the people who are a pleasure to work with. So leave a message, send a text. You can call them 2 days later. You can call them a week later. You can call them a month later. I recommend you make all of those decisions for yourself about follow-up ahead of time. Write it down in your little operations manual, your little playbook, and then just follow the playbook. So if you personally are going to send one text message at appointment time if they don't pick up, and then make one phone call 2 days later, and then send one text message 7 days later, and then nothing else for 30 days, then that's your playbook. And you should do that same thing every single time that situation occurs. You set an appointment, you call them, they don't pick up, here's what you do. And then you just tuck them in your organizational system to say, 7 days from now, I'm going to send them a text. And that's it. So you don't have to have all this mental drain about what should I do with this person in this particular case. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter at what point they are in your process. It doesn't matter how many times you've talked with them. It doesn't matter how close they are to the yes. If they miss an appointment, do that. Because then all your decisions get really, really simple because you made them ahead of time, and now you're just at your desk working. So I hope that adds some value to you. If it does, please let me know. And I encourage you to come back here for more training videos on network marketing and building your business. My name is Nick Brown, and I'm at your service. Have a great day.